Having said that, what we can summarize the whole discussion is that the Quran has certain features. First and foremost, it has commands or ahkam, and scholars have worked on those. Volumes and volumes have been produced on ahkamul Quran. Jassas and many others have done that job. What is ethically good or maroof, and what is munkar, permissible, what is mubah, what is halal, what is haram. Then development of personality and behavior of believers and others. It gives us different types of personalities, personality traits, how to develop those and how to avoid certain things. Then it tells us about lessons in history, how earlier nations behaved and how some of them were favored and how some of them were punished. Then it reports about people who rejected their prophets and messengers and Allah's guidance, and those who were who welcomed and what was their destiny. It tells us about how to develop a social, political, economic and cultural manners or cultural behaviors in our society. It also tells us about rights and obligations. It tells us about book of nature, what's in nature. It tells us about methodologies for dawah, for understanding of the Quran and for Sunnah. Each one has its own methodology. It tells us how to make a dialogue between non-Muslims and Muslims and even among Muslims. It also tells us about what's the ultimate destiny of man, where should man go ultimately, and then what's going to take place in final judgment. It also gives us very clear idea about what are the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how He operates in this universe, how He has made it and how He controls it. And then it tells us how the promises are fulfilled and how warnings were given, and then those who didn't listen to warnings were penalized. Then what's the purpose of man on earth, and particularly enlightens us on what is the meaning of khilafah, imama, imara or amara, how human beings should live.